fraud, illegal mining. All those ones are part of the figures that we gave, about 1,617. But I'm sure when the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources comes, he may be able to provide some fine details about how many people were arrested, how many people have been prosecuted. Even though I know the prosecution is done by us, that's by the police. But because it's more related to lands, I didn't prepare that, but I'm sure the Minister for Lands may be able to answer that adequately. Minister, I'm sure I've answered all your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
The city is alive on 97.3.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
City News.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Citi Prime News. The news is live from our studios at Tadabraka here in Accra. I am Charles Osukumi. Coming up, Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak assures arrest and prosecution of suspects in the violence that marred the Ablikma North election rerun on Friday.
I have spoken to the IGP. The videos have been forwarded to him. We've instructed him to act swiftly, bring the perpetrators to book.
Meanwhile, Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, criticizes the police service over its handling of the Ablikma North election violence.
Some of the incidents that occurred, the police service that they were meant to ensure peaceful voting, they were somehow unconcerned.
Also coming up, all set for the New Patriotic Party's annual delegates conference as Planning Committee indicates plans to consider recommendations from the Professor Okwe post-election report.
The report of the Michael Okwe Committee and other amendments submitted by the party members are part of the bundle of amendments that this conference will consider.
And later, Defense Minister Edward Omanibuama orders investigations into the violence reported in Boko involving some military personnel on Sunday. The news is also live in the Western region on Beach 105.5 FM and Sky Power 93.5 FM, both in Takrady. In the Bono region, we're live on J Live 95.5 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, we're on Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi and Orange 107.9 FM also in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we're on Revival 99.3 FM in Tajewu. We're also live across the globe on citinewsroom.com.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful to you for your time this afternoon. Let's get straight into the bulletin. And the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, has criticized the Ghana Police Service over its handling of violent incidents during the Ablikma North election rerun. Former Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Hawa Kumsin was assaulted after a group of heavily built men stormed a polling station. CODEO notes that police officers appeared overwhelmed and in some instances stood by as chaos unfolded at various polling centers. Speaking on the City Breakfast Show, coordinator of the CODEO Secretariat Joseph Otin Frimpong condemned the police service for failing to provide adequate protection despite the heavy deployment of security personnel to the area.
Some of the incidents that occurred, the police service that they were meant to ensure peaceful voting, though they were somehow there, and some of them looked unconcerned when some of these violent activities occurred at some of the polling stations. Although they did well by interdicting one of their members, as regards the many violent activities that happened, from the videos that we saw, some of them seemed unconcerned or they were overwhelmed by the turn of events. So we were much concerned about the role that they went to the polling station to play, because looking at the various by-elections and reruns that, as a country we have witnessed, though they should have known that this kind of election, the stakes were very high and, should have prepared towards any of such incidents happen. But we didn't see that from the videos that we watched from our secretariat.
Codeo also holds political parties accountable for instigating violence during elections and cautions that without decisive action, the upcoming Akwatia by-election could be marred by similar incidents of unrest.
Looking at the stake, the Akwatia North by-elections and the historical nature of our by-elections, though the major stakeholders when it comes to elections should be proactive, because we can't witness what we just witnessed last Friday and the ones that we have witnessed in times past again in Akwatia. So as we are approaching the Akwatia elections, we urge all the stakeholders to draw critical lessons from what happened in the Ablekuma North rerun and work collectively to safeguard our democracy. Ghanaians, we deserve better, and we can do it.
That was the coordinator of the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers Secretariat, Joseph Otin Frimpong. Meanwhile, the opposition New Patriotic Party is demanding the immediate arrest of individuals who stormed the St. Peter's Methodist Polling Center and attacked former Fisheries Minister Mavis Hawakumsin. Speaking to Citi News, a Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Haruna Mohammed, expressed shock over the lack of arrest and called for swift action.
We need the IDP, the CID, DNI, all of them to rise up to the occasion and make sure that these people are arrested. You cannot stand at a poll, stand at a date, and people will come and push you. The police was virtually helpless. They were standing there, nothing they could do. They entered and did all that they said. Nobody has been arrested. These videos are available, everything. As we speak, nobody has been arrested. And later, we saw all of them somewhere in uniform, police uniform. And those boys who have gone through what they did, all of them were housed at the Jimmy house. The video is there. People are watching it. This is very terrible. I don't think that this is an effect that has been promised as we speak lockdown. It is very unfortunate and very common.
That was the Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Haruna Mohammed. Still on events from the Ablekuma North election, former Assistant Secretary of the office at the office of the former President Ibrahim Ejay has criticized President John Dramani Mahama for his continued silence following the violent incidents that disrupted the Ablekuma North parliamentary rerun, describing it as deafening. Speaking on Channel 1 TV's Breakfast Daily Show, Ibrahim Ejay called on the president to publicly address the violence, alleging that it was perpetrated by activists affiliated with the National Democratic Congress.
Government, the silence of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is deafening. Deafening. And it's something that needs to be addressed. Because clearly, and nobody should try and say there's bias in my submission. Show me those of the NPP who were instigating the wanton violence that happened there. Show me. So that we can also put them in the dock. Clearly NDC activists. And we saw on social media how in the foreground of Jubilee House, Nana 24, you had these thugs being mobilized to go to Ablekuma North. It's there. And if you want to say, well, these are, some had military fatigue. But in this day and age where we can determine who is military and who is, quote unquote, a thug. In terms of that grouping that we saw on social media.
You heard former Assistant Secretary at the office of the former President Ibrahim Ejay. On government's response to the Ablekuma North election violence, Minister for the Interior, Mubarak Muntaka, has condemned the violence that erupted during that election, assuring that suspects will be prosecuted regardless of political affiliation. Among those assaulted were former MP for Autusenya East, Hawakumsin, and the NPP's Deputy National Organizer Chris Lloyd Asamoah. Addressing the media at the maiden edition of the Government Accountability Series, the minister said acts of vigilantism will not be tolerated.
The ministry is keen to seize every opportunity presented to aid towards executing its mandate, plans, programs, and ensuring peace and security for the good people of Ghana. I therefore want to appeal to all Ghanaians to continue to cherish this identity and not to do anything to detract from this path we have taken for ourselves and posterity. I want to remind myself and all Ghanaians the provision of the Vigilantism and Related Offences Act 2019, Act 999, that all of us need to be mindful about the activities of vigilantism. And I can assure you that not my party, not any group will we sit and allow to see the resurgence of vigilantism. I have spoken to the IGP family on all the the happenings of Abdulkumanov. The videos have been forwarded to him. We've instructed him to act swiftly, bring the perpetrators to book. We are not going to condone whether people within our party or outside our party into going around doing anything untoward. We can assure the public that we will ensure, under the leadership of His Excellency Jantaban Mahama, no such group will be allowed to form.
The Interior Minister says the incident in Ablekuma North is a wake-up call for the security agencies as the country prepares for the Akwatia by-election.
Well, the interesting thing is that I'm sure this is also a wake-up call for our security agencies to know that if probably what happened, maybe you could say that it was not an organized thing, it was a spontaneous thing. Whether it was organized, whether it was spontaneous, this gives our security agencies the opportunity to even plan better towards Akwatia. All I can assure the people of Akwatia is that we will use Ablekuma North as a case study to review our operational, how we operate in Akwatia, to make sure that the citizens are free to cast their vote and express their will without fear of favor.
Still with the Minister for the Interior, he has also cautioned officers of the Ghana Police Service to operate strictly within the limits of the law. He calls for professionalism in law enforcement, particularly in managing security during elections.
There's a lot so that we can feel safe, but they must do all this within the confines of the law so that they don't abuse our citizens in trying to protect them. Ghana Prison Service has implemented juvenile and secondary education initiative, supporting education continuity for juveniles and inmates. The Damongu Correctional Facility has been completed, expanding correctional facilities and reducing overcrowding. I want to take this opportunity once again to thank the Pentecost Church for the great job that they are doing in supporting the Ghana Prison Service. I came to meet a situation where they were at various stages of completion, 5 camp prisons, and this Damongu one that has just been completed makes it the 5th one. And if a church could come to the aid of the Ghana Prison Service this much, I want to take this opportunity to encourage all of us, citizens, individuals, business, corporate organizations, to come to the aid of our security services, especially the prisons who have huge challenges in managing the about 14,000 inmates that we have, including foreigners that are in there.
On the government's 24-hour policy, the Minister for the Interior has also announced the establishment of a 24-hour secretariat in Accra and the launch of an anti-robbery operation across key hotspots in the country.
Stopping illegal mining activities along water banks, ensuring that foreigners are not allowed to operate in small-scale mining within our forests, and then prosecuting persons involved. The services has established a 24-hour economy secretariat at the police headquarters in Accra to provide round-the-clock security for businesses under the government flagship program of 24-hour economy program. This is to ensure that the safe movement of goods and people and foster economic growth without fear of attack. The Ghana Police Service has also conducted high-impact intelligence-led anti-robbery operations across all regions and have achieved remarkable breakthroughs in major cases, including the murders of mobile money vendors in Kumasi, Koforidua, and Aflao, a robbery and murder at Radiance filling station in Pesetia, the murder of 5 victims in Asiao, and killing of Lebanese national in East Legon, the kidnapping of 2 Ghanaian women in Nigeria, and arrest of long-range robbery suspects. The police hospital in Kumasi has been commissioned and operationalized. That of Tamale is expected to be completed and commissioned hopefully in the 3rd quarter of this year.
You heard the Minister for the Interior, Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. We're coming to you live from our studios here in Adabraka. In the northern region, you are listening to us on Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM, in the Upper East region on Tanga 93.7 FM in Bolga, and in the Upper West region on Tunsong 97.3 FM in Wa. Still ahead. All set for the NPP's annual delegates conference as planning committee indicates plans to consider recommendations from the Professor Okwe post-election report. Do stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Are you searching for a world-class conferencing facility to elevate your next event? Do you need a bougie look for that all-important corporate, board meeting, or private social event? The Alisa Pavilion has an unmatched capacity. Our expansive conference center comfortably seats 1,000 persons in a theater-style setup. This makes it ideal for large conferences, product launches, weddings, social events, and exhibitions. There are 2 executive boardrooms set up for your high-profile meetings. With the importance of seamless technology integration, our facilities are equipped to support your audiovisual needs. Looking for an oasis of bliss? Saunter into our Oasis Lounge and Bistro on Thursdays for Thirsty Thursday, while you enjoy a whopping 15% discount. Make a date for Saturday Barbecue, where we have alfresco dining for nature lovers in our lush manicured lawns, while you savor lip-smacking dishes. The Alisa Hotel Pavilion, where great minds convene and beautiful memories are created. Alisa Hotels, our Aquaba means more than just welcome.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. This is the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's do some more news. The New Patriotic Party says Saturday's annual delegates conference will review key recommendations from the Professor Michael Quay Committee report, along with one outstanding reform from the party's 2019 conference in Kumasi. That particular reform was previously approved but never formally adopted. Speaking to the media ahead of the event, NPP Director of Communications Richard Ahiagwa says the proposed changes, if accepted, will lead to amendments to the party's constitution aimed at strengthening the party ahead of the 2028 elections.
Very significant exercise to reform our constitution or to amend our constitution. And if you recall, there are, I think, one major amendment outstanding from 2019, I should say, in Kumasi, where we're supposed to have amended the constitution, but that did not happen, and council or conference actually referred it to National Council to deliberate on and submit a proposal. That proposal was submitted to a committee that was created following the submission of the Professor Aaron Michael Quay Committee's report on the election, the 2024 election. That report, which is a package of amendments from the 2029 Annual National Delegate Conference, and proposals resulting from the report of the Michael Quay Committee and other amendments submitted by the party members are part of the bundle of amendments that this conference will consider.
Meanwhile, the New Patriotic Party says the delegates conference is on the theme Rebuilding Together with Our Values.
Many other people who are behind the scenes supporting and working tirelessly, and their efforts, inputs and insights have resulted in what we have today, which we believe is a theme that will guide the New Patriotic Party to the kind of rebuilding that we're looking for, to reposition our party as the darling party of Ghana, the political party of choice for Ghanaians.
You heard the Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party, Richard Ahiagba. Still with the NPP, political analyst Jonathan Asantiotre says former President Kufuor's recent comments reflect deepening disunity within the New Patriotic Party. This follows President Kufuor's claim that he has been sidelined in the party's affairs. Speaking to Citi News, Jonathan Asantiotre says such a public admission from a founding figure and two-term leader signals internal cracks that must be urgently addressed to preserve party cohesion.
This idea of being sidelined, for me, is a testament to the different factions within the party, and that have culminated in that huge gap, that huge disunity within the party, for which reason, we just saw the recent one at Ablekuma North, where the General Secretary proscribed their decision not to take part in the elections. Then the parliamentary candidate decides to do so. She now gets support from the president. That should tell you that there is a big disunity and that the center is not holding. Those who have been given the mandate, they don't have the wherewithal to run the affairs of the party.
The political analyst has also further advised that the party should utilize its upcoming conference to implement measures to address all divisions within the party.
Well, they should go back to the basics. Maybe they should hold on important decisions for now. They should go for their conference and then come out with certain proposals and amendments. And that should be, a matter of consensus building. Based upon that, they will be able to know the right direction of the party.
Hello.
For saying that, for now, people should not take important decisions for now. They should go for their conference, come out with amendments, and come out with certain consensus, arrangement and agreement. That will know to the benefit of the party, and then they should take it from there.
You heard political analyst Jonathan Asantiotre speaking on recent developments within the NPP. From the NPP to the NDC, because the leadership of the NDC in the Volta region says it is taking steps to address concerns and grievances surrounding recent appointments in the region. Last week, the Hohoi constituency organizer of the NDC, Samuel Wode, locked up the Hohoi municipal office of the National Disaster Management Organization in protest over a recent appointment. Mr. Wode, who was initially considered for the role of municipal NADMO director, is said to have taken the action after the position was handed to his deputy. The office has since been reopened and normal operations have resumed. Meanwhile, the regional leadership is urging party members to remain calm as efforts are underway to resolve all outstanding issues related to appointment. Away from party politics, the Ghana National Cargo Transport Association is threatening to increase fares by 30% if the proposed 1 cedi per litre fuel levy is not suspended. The levy, expected to take effect from Wednesday, July 16, is part of the government's efforts to stabilize the country's power sector. However, the association argues that the initiative will place an immense burden on cargo operators, particularly those who undertake long-distance trips to transport food produce from rural areas. Speaking to Citi News, chairman of the association, Alhaji Mohammed Tanko, criticized the government for failing to consult key stakeholders before introducing the levy.
We are trying to increase our price to 30% because we don't know anything about it. Nobody tells us anything. And we are the people who are buying diesel more. we the cargo transport and the articulator, we buy more drums of diesel. So government will take more benefit from us, not from the taxi drivers. And then we didn't hear anything. Nobody asked, tell us that this is what we are going to do or something like that. Just I heard it from some people say, oh, now we have settled. You have settled with who? We don't know anything because we are applying the bad road, which is not good. We carry food from the northern region, Volta, all. We are bringing it to Accra. And then government is going to tax us 1 cedi, 1 cedi per liter. So it means 1 gallon is 4 cedis, 50 pesos. If he can call us and tell us, oh, this is the reason why, then maybe we will understand. But nothing. But he talked to GPRTU and the concerned drivers, taxi, and the passengers. What about the cars, the big truck, heavy trucks? We are carrying heavy duty goods.
You heard Alhaji Mohammed Tanko, the chairman of the Ghana National Cargo Transport Association. In more news, Minister for Defense Dr. Edward Omanibuama has ordered an investigation into the violent incidents reported in Boko on Sunday. His directive follows renewed violence in the township where unknown assailants reportedly opened fire on a vehicle under military escort, injuring a soldier. In what is believed to be a retaliatory response, military personnel allegedly destroyed the statue of the Zugran of the Kusau traditional area, Asigri Abugrago Azoka II, and were accused of assaulting some civilians. In a Facebook post, Dr. Manibuama called for calm and assured that swift action is being taken to address the situation and restore order. Meanwhile, Majority Leader and MP for Boko Central, Mahama Ayarga, has condemned the military's conduct, describing the alleged destruction and brutality as unacceptable. He's calling on the military's leadership to immediately investigate the incident and hold those responsible accountable. From Boko, the Health Accounting Staff Association of Ghana says it has concluded in negotiations with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission regarding their conditions of service. The association had previously threatened industrial action over delays in the process. However, HASAC's National Secretary Kofi Fiawoyife Sechuafia tells Citi News that the new agreement will take effect from August 1, 2024. He also commended the government for its cooperation and responsiveness during the negotiations.
They have granted us audience and we have signed the agreement. We have met with them to conclude on the negotiation. The date we are expecting it to, the implementation will start this year. It will not delay like the way the others happen. Yes, the implementation will start 1st August. That's what we have agreed on.
You heard Kofi Fiawoyife Sechuafia, and he is the National Secretary of the Health Accounting Staff Association of Ghana. And that'll be all for this edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka here in Accra. The news was also live on our partner stations across the country. For more news, log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. I am Charles Osukumi. Many thanks for listening.
Citi Prime News at 12.